be doing a full tutorial on how to get to the Shadow of the Erdtree DLC in Elden Ring. I started at the 4 belfries side of Grace. For me, that would be the closest, but first thing you're going to want to do is grab the Glintstone Academy key. You can grab it off this dead body right here. We need this key to get into the academy to kill Rolana. Go ahead and follow this exact same path. And once you get to the academy front gate, there is going to be a few enemies here, but you can honestly just dodge them and jump over them. Here's where that key will come in handy. Just got to go ahead and examine the seal, and it'll bring you right up here. Hit the grace, and then just take a left. Once you make it up the elevator, just make your way up these stairs. There is going to be a few enemies. You can either kill these guys or just avoid them, but main thing is to just get through this door. Once you make it in here, just kind of try to stick left and then take another left right after that to hit this grace just to be safe. Again, follow my exact path here to make it to the next part. As you can see, you can pretty much run by all the enemies in that area. Just make sure you jump onto this elevator. Make sure you get this grace because it is going to be the last one before you reach a little boss, the Wolf of Radagon. There are a bunch of enemies as well along the way. You can just dodge them and avoid them. Just try to make it in there. After you take him out, you're just going to want to take a left from the grace. There is some parkour here, so make sure you watch your step. Once you get onto this bridge, just stick right. There are some bowling ball looking things that come flying down at you. And the last line of defense here is going to be this Carrion Knight. Before you reach Rolana, just take him out and then hit the elevator. Through these doors is where you're going to fight Rolana, so be prepared. I recommend grabbing this grace behind her. It makes it a lot easier to come back to later. The next step is going to be going over to Fort Height to grab the left half of the Dectus medallion. There are some enemies out front here. Make sure you grab this golden seed. Once you get inside, there's going to be a lot of enemies. They're going to be throwing fire and stuff at you. You can just avoid that. Head into this tower right here. Climb the ladder. And at the top here in this chest, you're going to find the left half of the Dectus medallion. And back at this side of Grace, you're going to want to follow this path to the secret teleporter to bring you to Kaled, and this will speed up the routes to get to the right half of the Dectus Medallion. It's kind of hidden back here in these bushes behind this church, but once you do that, you're gonna be brought here, and this is the path that we're gonna take to get to the right half of the Dectus Medallion. There are a few bigger enemies along the way, but they're really nothing to worry about. You can just ride right past all of them and avoid them. Just ignore this avatar and jump up behind the tree, and this will bring you right up to Fort Ferrith. It is pretty dark in here, and there are a few enemies. You can just run right by them and climb up the ladder. And this chest is the right half of the Dectus Medallion. Now that we have both halves of the Dectus Medallion, come back to the main Academy Gate side of Grace and examine this seal. You're going to be teleported to the Bellium Highway. This route will take us to the Grand Lift of Dectus, which is where we're going to need to go to get us to the next part. There are a lot of enemies, cannonballs and stuff like that thrown at you, so just make sure you avoid them and keep on heading this way. Now that we made it to the Atlas Plateau, we're just going to want to follow this path to make it to the next side of Grace. There are some more enemies up here and 2 tree sentinels at the top. They are a little bit scary, but you can just run right by them. There are some golden seeds here, so make sure you pick those up. This is the path we're going to take to get to the Daedronic Tree Sentinel, and that's going to be the last guy we got to kill to fight Radahn. There are a lot of golden seeds in this area, so make sure you don't miss them. Watch out for these guys because they do shoot like school bus sized arrows at you for some reason. Once you make it to this guy, take him out. Don't worry, there is a Statue of America, so you will be able to respawn. I recommend grabbing this side of Grace while you're here. You don't have to. This route does have a little bit of parkour, so it can be a little bit tricky, but this will bring us to the teleporter to get to Radahn. Make sure you're on your torrent and just kind of jump around until you make it down here. Grab this side of Grace, and then we'll continue on. A little bit more parkour here. Just look for this branch, and then you can kind of slide down. If you're doing this part at night, there will be a deathrite bird that spawns here, so I recommend doing this not at night. Either way, there are a bunch of birds and dogs down here, so be careful. Right here is the site of grace before you reach the teleporter. For that, all you're going to want to do is examine it. Now that we're at the Red Main Castle, there is another site of grace you can pick up. There are a few NPCs you have to talk to start the Radon Festival, so make sure you do that. It's going to be Ballad and then this guy up here. There is a pretty cool cutscene that plays there, which kind of shows you what Radon is, what you're getting yourself into. But just follow this little path here and you'll see the elevator. Come on down here and prepare yourself, because from this teleporter is where you're going to meet Radon. This is always an intense and challenging fight, so have fun with it. After you take him out, hit this grace. For this next part, you're going to need the Pure Blood Knight's medal. This will bring you to Mogwin's Palace. You are going to need to kill him in order to get to the DLCs, so make sure you are prepared for that fight. If you're not, I recommend going and getting leveled up quite a bit before you go and take him on. There are quite a few enemies along the way, but the path is pretty short to get there, and it's pretty simple too. You can kind of just sneak behind whatever this thing is. I recommend using a torch or a lantern if you have one for this part. It is pretty dark and there are a few kind of strong enemies in here. If you just follow my path, you should be fine and not run into really a whole lot of anything. There is a Lord's Rune in here, so you don't want to miss that. Grab this grace here. Feel free to take these guys out and grab yourself a somber ancient dragon smithing stone. This elevator is what's going to bring you to the Moog fight, so make sure you are very prepared for that. It is not very easy. After you take him out, head up the stairs. You do have to talk to Leda. I don't remember how to say her name, but exhaust her dialogue, and then you're going to want to touch the hand of Mikola. And that will bring you to the Shadow Realm. You're going to spawn in this little cave, but just right out, and that's that beautiful view. And that is how you make it to the DLC. Thanks for watching. Until next time.